Arsenal have finally got their man. After weeks of negotiating and talk of agreement, Andrea Berta has secured the Glock 9. So today we'll get the breaking news on Viktor Gyökeres, as well as getting the latest on Christian Mosquera. We'll discuss a move for Eberechi Eze and Xavi Simons, as well as breaking down Mikel Arteta's first interview of the brand new season. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baswati and welcome back to Bush, and I hope you guys are doing sensational. After weeks of negotiations, those final add-ons finally completed. My friend, it's a here we go. So as per, smash a like on this video if you do enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Help your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with Mikel Arteta's interview. With the 2025-26 season less than a month away from starting, as Arsenal officially released their brand new away kit. A bit of a throwback to 2021-22, the players are currently in Singapore ahead of their first game of pre-season, a game against Serie A giants AC Milan, and let's just say the Arsenal boss has been speaking. In his first official press conference of the brand new season, from saying on new signings, it's like shaking the tree again. They bring new excitement and new energy. The prime example of course being brand new midfielder Martin Zubimendi, alongside the Arsenal squad in Singapore set to make his first ever Arsenal appearance. As Arteta confirms, Zubimendi left some very good opportunities to come to Arsenal. It's very impressive what we've seen over the last 7 to 10 days. And excitement is definitely building. A brand new year with brand new hope, potentially 7 new signings. One of course also being Chelsea's Noni Madueke. When Mikel Arteta was asked about Arsenal's relationship with Chelsea after making another signing from them, Mikel says probably because they've got some great players and a lot of players. We try to focus on the players that we want to sign regardless of the club. With Noni we're very excited. He needs a break now, but he will be with us soon, showing what he's going to bring to the team. And talking of players that we have signed from Chelsea, here you've got Kai Havertz arriving in Singapore ahead of what is going to be a massive season. Last year going into it as Arsenal's starting striker, but with the arrival of a certain big Swede, things could be very different. But in terms of Arsenal's first official game back, a behind closed doors friendly against Watford, a game they won 2-0, Havertz was on the score sheet alongside Ben White. But how is he going to play alongside Arsenal's brand new striker? Could we see Mikel Arteta deploy a 2-striker system next season? These are questions that we're going to get answers to very soon. As Mikel Arteta says on the new signings, we are so happy Andrea Berta is doing an excellent job, and it's still early in the window. In terms of numbers though, we are still short. But things are about to change very soon. With 4 official signings already completed, Zubimendi, Norgard, Kepa and Madueke already confirmed, the 5th signing is on his way to Singapore. We of course are talking about Valencia centre-back Christian Mosquera, a player that we've already got a here we go for. But after a recent report from the Hand of Arsenal confirming there was a delay in the player's paperwork, the details won't be discussed, and these are boundaries that should be respected. There was talk about issues in the medical and a lot of other things as well, but ultimately speaking, Arsenal have got the deal done. As confirmed by the Gunner blog, Mosquera has undertaken a medical test and media ahead of signing for Arsenal, but there are still some outstanding issues to be resolved. But then we got this video here of Mosquera spotted at the airport, reportedly on his way to Singapore. As then confirmed by the Gunner blog, Mosquera is en route to Singapore to join up with Arsenal after being given the green light on Tuesday morning, making it Arsenal's 5th signing of the summer. It is a deal that Arsenal have got done for a very reasonable fee. A player that played so many minutes last season, ranking number 1 in all of Europe for under 21 minutes over the past 2 seasons. It has always been a priority for Mikel Arteta to have a backup for William Saliba. When on the left hand side you have Kivio and Calafiori, Arsenal finally have another right-footed centre-back, one that has proven reliably fit, and most importantly has so much room for growth. The Christian Mosquera announcement is pending, but in terms of here we goes and done deals, we also have to talk about a rival one. After Arne Slot won a league title in his first ever season, despite already spending over £100 million on Florian Wirtz, as Fabrizio Romano confirmed a Hugo Ekitike to Liverpool, here we go, a deal in place for a fee of over €90 million, potentially even reaching 95. The great news for Arsenal fans is that they're not getting Alexander Isak. For as great as Ekitike can potentially become, the idea of them getting Isak after already getting Wirtz, I won't lie, was a scary prospect, but ultimately Newcastle were firm in their stance. After getting Champions League football at the end of last season, Alexander Isak was never for sale, which makes sense even when you think about Arsenal. Despite reports going into the summer that Isak was indeed a target, the fact that we never even negotiated or even tried to sign the player means that Arsenal knew it wasn't worth wasting their time. So despite Liverpool making a verbal offer of £120 million, they will now be getting Hugo Ekitike instead, a striker that I still believe has a lot of great fundamentals. But talk to me down below in the comments. For as much as Arsenal fans focus on themselves, what have you made of the rival moves? From Man City's quick start to the window, to the arrival of Ekitike and Wirtz to Liverpool. If Arsenal are going for a title next season, who do you think will be our main competitors? But moving on to the big here we go, and trust me my friends, this one is gargantuan. In the pursuit of striker Viktor Gyökeres, a priority for Mikel Arteta in 2025 was always going to be getting a striker in for pre-season. So despite of the reports last week that Arsenal had got a verbal agreement, with still no here we go and no confirmation, according to the Gunner blog, Sporting were upset with the conduct of Viktor Gyökeres, who failed to return to training. Although it has been a frustrating process, Arsenal remain confident that a resolution will be reached, with even Fabrizio Romano confirming Manchester United were offered once again the transplant intermediaries close to Sporting to bid for Viktor Gyökeres, but they received a clear answer once again from Viktor. He wants to join Arsenal and it's his only desire. He will keep fighting for that. A player that has done so much to get himself to the Emirates Stadium, taking an own personal pay cut, as well as his agent lowering his commission to help Arsenal get a deal over the line. And it looks like the player is going to get his wish come true, because after a David Ornstein exclusive confirming that Arsenal and Sporting got on the verge of a total agreement for Viktor Gyökeres, a fee of €63.5 million, plus €10 million already struck on add-ons, work is still needed on the finishing touches, but a conclusion is imminent. We then got the famous three words from Fabrizio Romano. The breaking news of Viktor Gyökeres to Arsenal, here we go. Verbal agreement in place between all parties involved. Sporting accept the last bid from Arsenal of €63.5 million, plus €10 million in add-ons. The agent will reduce his commission. Gyökeres will sign a 5-year deal with Arsenal because he only wanted Arsenal. A post that was liked by Noni Madueke, Max Diamond and Declan Rice. Here you've got a video of Arsenal fullback Miles Wizgelli, elated by the here we go and even pulling out the Gyökeres celebration. I think as Arsenal fans we kind of forget the impact signings can also make on the players. The idea of getting Europe's top goal scorer last season for an Arsenal side that severely lacked firepower, we are now getting a relentless goal scorer, one that scored 54 goals last year, on top of 13 assists in just 52 games. As confirmed by Ben Jacobs, Viktor Gyökeres has permission to undergo a medical Arsenal, and that is expected in the next 24 hours, with even a hand of Arsenal updates, confirming that Arsenal and Sporting are now exchanging the final documents for the transfer of Viktor Gyökeres. The Arsenal logistic teams are preparing his medical. The Swede is on standby. Gyökeres is adamant he wants to be part of pre-season, having followed a strict individual training plan, and that is exactly why I can't see this player failing. Not only are Arsenal finally getting a 20-goal forward, but for me it ultimately falls down to mindset. Not only was the player convinced that Arsenal was the club for him, rejecting life-changing offers from Saudi Arabia, saying no to Man United on multiple occasions, but it's the fact that he's also relentless on the field, constantly making runs in behind and constantly going again. Gyökeres will lose the ball and he will make mistakes, but what Arsenal need is a forward that keeps going time and time again, a player that is intent on putting the ball into the back of the net, not only to win Arsenal games of football, but ultimately secure major silverware. In signing Viktor Gyökeres, what Arsenal are getting is a player that offers things that we don't already have, to a decisive nature on transition. To put it very simply, Arsenal are getting a player that knows very well how to put the ball into the back of the net, and there will be questions of how will the player adapt in the Premier League. We've seen players come from Portugal and not thrive straight away, but remind yourself this is also a player that done it in the Championship, a league that might be below the Premier League, but it's ultimately produced some very good players. From the likes of Jude Bellingham that's now thriving at Real Madrid, to even Arsenal targets Eberechi Eze, the Championship is as physical and demanding as it gets. So after carrying Coventry to the playoff final, even getting an assist at Wembley, Gyökeres will be well aware of the physical nature that England offers. But now the question becomes, when is he going to make his debut? With Arsenal currently in Singapore ahead of their first game against AC Milan, that game will come too soon. But with games after against Newcastle and Tottenham, could we see Viktor Gyökeres' first ever Arsenal game in a North London derby? Because in terms of his Premier League debut, it will be against former manager Ruben Amorim, as Arsenal go to Old Trafford on the first day of the season. According to Charles Watts, Arsenal have been working towards Viktor Gyökeres travelling out to join up with the squad in Asia. There was always hope that it would happen, and plans have been put in place. With the agreement now all but done, you would hope that plan can be put into action, and the player will be involved, whether that's in Singapore or Hong Kong. But for Mikel Arteta, his second big forward of this window, after spending only €154.5 million on brand new forwards arriving in 2019, he has now spent €133 million in July 2025 alone, which makes you wonder, could we spend even more? With Fabrizio Romano already confirming, after the Viktor Gyökeres deal, Arsenal also want to sign a creative attacking player. According to the Gunner blog, this summer Arsenal have internally described both the signing of Martin Zubimendi and Noni Madueke as Tier 1 signings. Previously Arsenal categorised his squad in terms of tiers, but that system may be evolving to move to a squad model with a wider distribution of top talents. And it all makes sense because of the amount of games that Arsenal will play next season. More games in the Champions League, alongside a very competitive Premier League. You've then got the Carabao Cup alongside the FA Cup as well. What Arsenal are doing is not just building a squad for the Premier League, they're creating a squad that can compete for all. Which all brings us to Arsenal's pursuit of a brand new attacking midfielder, with the name of Xavi Simons coming into the equation. According to reports in Germany, RB Leipzig will be ready to part ways with Xavi Simons, If an offer of 70 million euros arrives, the player wants to make the next step, but no offers so far. Even according to Fabrizio Romano, the Xavi Simons deal is expected to develop soon, as the player's decision since May is clear. He wants to leave. With 2 years left on his deal at Leipzig, the price that can be under 70 million euros, Chelsea and Arsenal are aware, interested as revealed last week, with FC Bayern also remaining keen. 3 separate clubs have entered the race, but in terms of the one that's making the most moves, as confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, Xavi Simons has opened the door to Chelsea after direct contact with his camp. Club-to-club talks will start from Tuesday, as Chelsea and Leipzig will discuss the deal conditions. For Chelsea, the deal does depend on outgoings. Arsenal also remain keen, but Gyökeres and the outgoings are the priority. It seems like Arsenal and Chelsea are both in a similar boat. They like the player very much, but it all depends on what players they can sell first. In the case of Arsenal having just got the Gyökeres here we go, making that Mikel Arteta's 6th signing of the summer, the key man behind any sort of move will be the agent of Xavi Simons, the very famous Ali Barrett, who has confirmed behind of Arsenal, brokered the move from Noni Madueke to Arsenal, and has also offered Xavi Simons to the club, a powerful agent that has played a massive part in summer 2025. The issue that Arsenal will have in this deal though, is the fact that Ali Barrett is actually very close to Chelsea. Not only has he got a lot of players off Chelsea's books, but he's also been a key part of their signings. But for Arsenal, it's also clear to why they're interested. By signing a profile like Xavi Simons, not only are Arsenal getting another low block solution, but also getting a supremely talented young player, one that's able to play out wide and also as an attacking midfielder, with an incisive eye for a pass in behind. It's become more and more clear as Arsenal make more and more signings. Summer 2025 has always been about levelling up the Arsenal attack. So with Gyökeres and Madueke done, for me it has to be a priority to get the third attacker as well. And if it's not to be Xavi Simons, you've also got Crystal Palace's Eberechi Eze, a player as confirmed by Fabrizio Romano that Arsenal have contact, but according to Sam Dean on the Latte firm, I have not heard anything in the past few weeks. The Eberechi Eze to Arsenal is advancing in a positive direction. Everything I've been told throughout this summer has made me really doubt if this is possible, which is not what Arsenal fans want to hear, but you've also got a massive update from the hand of Arsenal, confirming that Eze's future was linked to Ethan Nwanery's contract. But since the talks with the player, alongside glowing references from Arsenal players, Arteta is obsessed and directly communicated this to the board. My understanding is personal terms have never been an issue. One source even said he would sign a 5-year deal tomorrow. Eze has told Chelsea and Bayern his preference is Arsenal, but how long can a player wait? Informal dialogue has taken place with Palace, but nothing further as of today. Arsenal focus on sales and hopefully the sale of Trossard opens the door, with the hope being Andrea Berta makes the sales and picks up the phone to Steve Parish. It is well known in the industry that Parish is honourable and straightforward. He would use the money to reinvest into Selhurst Park and other club matters. There is a deal there to be done. It all now falls down to Andrea Berta and Arsenal. After already investing a lot of money in summer 2025, 6 major signings over the line, they may have got their big time striker, but can they get that important third forward? Whether Eberechi Eze or Xavi Simons, one thing that is very clear is that Arsenal remain on the market. But my question to you, Andrea Berta, do you have one more for me? But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal transfer news today, and after we got the here we go for Viktor Gyökeres, I'm sure this will be a very common theme in the Arsenal fan base. But for me, we're a bit greedy, we want some more signings as well, and hopefully we get some massive updates on Eze and Simons very soon. As for my friends, our first game is around the corner against AC Milan, and I'll see you next time. Take care, in a bit.